What's up, Internet? This is Dan right here, and I'm joined with Morgan Straughan Comnick.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how are you today, Morgan?
I'm a little sick. I work with kindergartners, and they've been sneezing all over me, but
Oh,
I'm trucking through it.
excellent. Yeah, soldiering through it. That's what we like to
Oh,
hear.
thank you.
Okay, so you guys that follow this channel may remember that back in March, me and Morgan did this little thing called March Disney Villain Madness, which was a absolutely fun event. I really enjoyed it. Did you have fun in that, Morgan?
I loved it, but I wouldn't call it little.
Well, yeah. Well, funny enough, actually, I've been watching some of the videos from that, and it seems to be getting a lot more views than the last couple of months or so. And
I noticed that.
it's incredible, actually. I think the minute you put Disney and everything, people are going to flock to it. Anyway, well, today we've got a special treat for you guys because we're going to do something a little bit different to what we did before. This is basically a series of videos that me and Morgan have been discussing a possibility of a new show we will have going because, as you guys probably gathered from March Disney Villain Madness, me and Morgan are both huge fans of Disney, but we're also quite big fans of Pixar, wouldn't you say, Morgan?
I agree. Pixar is pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, I love Pixar. Today, we are going to be doing mine and Morgan's list for the top 15 Pixar films of all time.
Woo!
This was not an easy list to put together because Morgan put a little list together, I put my list together, and we've come up with this list. So this will be done as a series of 3 videos because I think having 15 in one take is probably too much even for the most hardcore Pixar fans. So what we want to do is we're going to go through like 5 each, starting from 15, and then working our way up to number 1. And then we'll just basically give our list, talk a little bit about these films, and then we'll go from there and we'll find out which the number 1 is. So, yeah. I probably should just make this aware pretty quickly, just in case any of you guys haven't actually seen these films. There may be spoilers ahead, but we'll do our best to keep them to a minimum. Okay, so without further ado, let's go on to the top 15 Pixar movies, numbers 15 to 11.
All right.
All right, here we go. So, coming at number 15 in our list is Cars 2.
Yeah.
Now, I've actually got a bit of a confession here, and I'm probably going to get a few emails, a few comments about this. I actually haven't seen any of the Cars films, I'm afraid. I have not seen Cars 1 or Cars 2, so that's the only reason why I kind of put this quite low on the list, because I can't really talk much about it if I haven't actually seen it. So, Morgan, I think
No,
you might have to talk a little bit about this one.
no, that's okay. I have seen Cars 1 and 2. Cars 1 I think was awesome. Cars 2 is not so much. Just my personal preference. They made Mater the tow truck. I'm sure you've heard of him.
Oh,
Dan.
yeah.
Larry the Cable Guy, from good old America. I love him. He's so funny. Uh, he kind of came to this in the first one, not spoilers, but just this lovable friend, and the second one they just kind of made him this dumb bag of rocks that made him a secret agent, and the story made absolutely no sense. There was no point to it, and yet they had some violence on there, which I didn't think was appropriate for children, which I won't go into that. So I'm like, how do you have a story with no plot and violence with cars? I didn't quite understand that. So my husband and I, we watched it and we're like, what did we just watch? So that's why that's the lowest personally on my list, and Dan hasn't seen it. So
Yeah, I'm sure it is a good film, but like I said, I can't really talk about a film that I haven't seen, so that's probably all we can say about that one. Okay, shall we move on?
sure.
Okay, so number 14, we have Monsters University. So
And here's my confession: I have not seen this film, so I cannot review.
it looks like the tables have turned this way, haven't we?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, now I've got to be honest. I was kind of dubious about watching this film when it first came out because usually the problem I find with a lot of prequels is sometimes they add stuff into stories that sort of contradict the main stories, if that makes any sense. Like big example of this, I guess, is like the prequel Star Wars films. It's like, I mean, in the original Star Wars films, I had this whole thing about the Force being this big mystical force and everything like that. And then in the prequels, it was sort of like described it being a bacteria that gave people superpowers. And that I kind of got a bit annoyed about this. So as a rule, I'm generally a bit dubious about prequels, but in fairness to Monsters University, it actually was pretty good. I mean, it set up a good backstory with Sully and Mike and how they got together. And it actually introduced the character of Randall and how he actually became a bad guy. And I thought that was actually quite an interesting story. So definitely a standout moment for me is when they play Mastodon in it, because there's a bit in The film where one of them are going to a party, and then one of the monster's mother's in the car saying, "Oh, don't worry, kids, I'll listen to one of my tracks while I'm waiting." And then she puts on like a heavy metal track, and it's actually the band Mastodon, who I actually quite like. So seeing them in a Pixar movie or hearing them in a Pixar movie was actually pretty funny. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good film. Not one of Pixar best, but certainly an entertaining film, especially if you are a fan of the original Monsters Inc. But don't go into it expecting anything overly special, but it's worth a watch, I'd say.
Awesome.
Right, number 13, we have the movie Brave. This one, I don't know if might be a little bit controversial putting it this particular spot because I know there are a lot of people out there that absolutely love this film. And indeed, and again, I've got another confession here. Whilst I have seen Brave, I haven't seen it the whole way through. So, from what I've seen, it is actually a really, really good film, and I love the main character, and I love the strong feminist message to it. In many ways, it probably was Frozen before Frozen came out. It was like Pixar's attempt at doing like a film with like a lot of strong female characters, which I'm all in favour of. And what's her name? Is it Meridia? Medea?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm saying that completely wrong. I do apologise about that, but no, I think she's a great character. I like her headstrong attitude, and then yeah, I have to say the villain, like the evil bear monster, he is terrified as heck. As it's like the minute he first came on, I think I very nearly well, I won't say why I actually did because we're trying to keep this family friendly, but he basically he scared me, and interestingly enough, there was also like a Monsters Inc. Reference to it as well because. Some fans have actually said if you look really carefully, then you can actually see pictures of Sully in the background, and some actually say that the actual witch in it is actually an older version of Boo. So
yeah, I've heard that.
yeah, take from that what you will. But yeah, I will get around to see it the whole way through. So again, apologies to any Brave fans out there. The only reason I'm putting it down low on this list is because I haven't seen it the whole way through. But once I have seen the whole way through, I'm sure it'll be a lot higher up the list.
It's I'm probably gonna get hurt on this too. But I did enjoy the film, but I think it was just way too overhyped, and my expectations were high, and it just didn't quite meet those expectations. Meredith is a great, I guess, feminist of her day,
Mm-hmm.
but she's a little bratty to me at times, and that kind of I don't deal well. I work with students who are brats. I can't handle that in my movies. So that was a little difficult to swallow at times, and the villain was very scary. So I was kind of hoping for some redemption from the villain, but that didn't happen. That's what I was really hoping for.
Okay.
But that didn't happen, so because of the overhypeness, and I don't like how Meredith just instantly became a Disney princess when she's Pixar.
Yeah, I always thought that was kind of strange as well. I mean, I know there are some people that say Pixar and Disney are like the technically the same thing, and indeed, I certainly count Pixar and Disney the same thing. But there's also like I guess you could say a select thing that like to think Pixar and Disney are like completely separate to each other. But I don't know. It kind of seems a bit cheating that Disney would make Disney princess out of something that isn't technically a Disney character as such.
Yeah, that really bugged me, especially like Pocahontas is so technically not classified as a licensed Disney princess.
Indeed.
So I don't know. That just kind of bugged me a little bit, but it's not a bad film. I do like it. Just there's Pixar films that I personally think are better.
Okay, that's fine. Right. Well, moving on to number 12, we have the film Ratatouille.
Oh gosh. Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Yeah, I don't know why. Now, this is actually, I'm going to be perfectly honest with here. This is actually a bit of a confession. This so far is the only Pixar film not to make me cry in any way. At least out of the ones I've seen. The one thing that's always guaranteed is when I see a Pixar film is it's always guaranteed to bring a tear to my eye at some point. And certainly when we get to like the top 5 in this list, it's going to be you'll be hearing a lot about how it brought me to tears. But Ratatouille for some reason didn't. But it's not because I think it's a bad film. In fact, it is actually quite an enjoyable film. But it's just like I don't know. There's nothing really sad about it. Really, I think it's just more disappointing than sad. I mean, it's just got a lot of the typical traits. It's got like a rat that wants to be more than he is, and he becomes friends with a chef who helps him make a few dishes, and he gets found out, and then he gets his whole family to help him with it. But yeah, so it's an enjoyable film, but it's not really an emotional film. So I didn't personally find it emotional anyway, but it's still a really enjoyable film. I mean, it has Peter O'Toole as the bad guy, which, let's face it, Peter O'Toole's always fantastic to watch, and the main character voiced by Patton Oswalt, who has actually done a heck of a lot of stuff. I think his latest stuff he appeared in was one of the characters in Agents of Shield. I forget which character he is, but yeah, he's a guy. You probably wouldn't recognize him if you saw him, but he has done a heck of a lot. Yeah, I think he's like done a lot of comedy work and voice work, and I think he's also done some stuff on College Humor, the YouTube channel, and stuff like that. Funny enough, there's a parody of Batman on there called Badman, and he actually played the Penguin on that, which was absolutely hilarious. So yeah, yeah, I like Ratatouille. I mean, I say only Pixar film to not make me cry, but it's still a good film in its own right. It's still very enjoyable.
I like Ratatouille also. It flows nicely,
Mm.
but it didn't feel very Pixar-ish to me. I don't know. I'm
Oh.
not a big crier in movies, but it didn't feel quite like Pixar, so that's why it's kind of lower on my list. Plus, some of the topics hidden in Ratatouille, I was like, whoa. Like, there's the where he gets a little tipsy on the wine,
Yeah.
the chef guy, which I was like, I'm sure a kid will figure out what that is. And then the ghost spirit didn't know he had a son, and I was like, whoa, what's that alluding to?
Yeah, it's kind of
So
strange.
again, I know you're thinking like that's gonna go over kids' heads. Well, you'd be surprised what doesn't.
Oh, and indeed, yeah. Tell me about. I mean, I think if anyone's looked at our March Disney Villain Madness, where we've looked at some of the Disney films and some of the darker
Yeah.
themes, especially in the honorable mentions video, I think look at the darker themes. So
Right.
yeah, not a lot goes over kids' heads these days. I think they're far more aware of things than we give them credit for. So
No,
yeah.
so because those two scenes when I watched it as a teenager made me feel kind of squirmy. Cause I'm like, this is a Pixar movie. So I know that's kind of silly, but I'm very innocent. So because of that, that's why it's a little bit lower. But it is a good watch. It definitely has a lot of cohesion, which some films unfortunately don't have.
Yeah. Okay. And then next up on our list, number 11, we have quite conveniently Cars. And
Best Pixar music in a movie. I love the music in Cars.
well, as you probably heard me mention, I've never seen any of the Cars films. So again, over to you for this one, Morgan. You'll probably have to talk about it.
Oh, the music is just phenomenal. I'll just randomly start singing "Real God" in the car, which is one of the main things with Lightning McQueen. It's a great story. I never thought I'd like vehicles who could have personas. I was like, well, these are cars that talk, woohoo! But it's really cleverly made, and it's just really great cast. Like Larry the Cable Guy, Owen Wilson is Lightning McQueen,
Okay.
and it's really stood the test of time because I think cars are gonna. I'm pretty sure cars are gonna be around forever. And I still have little kids like 10 plus years later, like kindergartners. They have Lightning McQueen shoes that light up. And I went to this little kid in the park and I went, ka-chow! And he's like, oh, you know lightning! So I think for a movie to stand time like that is pretty awesome. It's beautiful animation, great story, lots of good humor that works for that film. So I feel bad Cars 2 had the same great characters, but it just didn't work. So you should definitely watch it, Dan. I really enjoyed that film.
Yeah, I will definitely add it on my list of films to watch, which is constantly growing at the moment. But
I understand.
okay, right. Well, that's numbers 15 to 11. We will continue this in our next video, which should be out sometime soon. We're hopefully going to have about 3 of these videos out. So stay tuned. And our next video, we will have numbers 10 to 6.
All right.
Okay. Well, until then, this is us signing out. So it's goodbye from Dan.
And sayonara from Morgan.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.